Hi there. So, thanks for coming to the Creating a Facebook Business Page class. I'm Joe Akers, the Director of Marketing here at Agent and Realty. Today we're going to go through a basic walkthrough to get you up and running with your own Facebook business page if you don't have one already. If you've created one with a personal account, I'm going to show you also how to merge that or to migrate that, into a Facebook business page, because it's very important that you actually use a Facebook business page as opposed to your personal page. And we'll kind of talk through and we'll see some examples of why that's beneficial. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So, pros versus cons in terms of a Facebook business page. The pros, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it and say that the pros far outweigh the cons. You're able to drive traffic to a particular website or URL that you might want people to go to. You can't do that unless you post links in your post, and that's not always present. It disappears in on your timeline, whereas you have this readily available at all times in your Facebook business page. So you're able to drive traffic, i.e., you're able to drive leads to a location of your choice. You're able to reach new audiences. So with a Facebook business page, this is actually public. It's going to be seen by everyone. You don't have really much ability to prevent people from seeing it, as opposed to your personal page where you may have privacy settings that prevent people from seeing things. So this allows you to reach new audiences, everything from the content that you produce, posts or promotions that you do, or even ads, which is something that we'll talk about in a later class sometime. One of the biggest things that I try to emphasize to folks with a Facebook business page is you can learn about your audience, which means there are insights. So there are things that are tracked about the folks that visit your page and interact with your page that give you some sort of idea of who they are, where they're located, their age, their gender, that sort of thing. And it's a lot of information that you can use later on or use right away in terms of the content that you create, so it appeals to that audience even more. And you can engage with your audience. This is a social, community-based social media channel. So you're able to get in there and kind of get on the ground and talk to people about what they're looking for, what they need. And the people who start interacting with your Facebook page, you build a relationship with them. Now, looking at the cons, I'll go ahead and say that they look like cons because they're in that category, but it's just something to consider. So they're not good for all industries. Things that are really boring, such as maybe niche or highly technical things like I don't know, web developers or something. But they even have their own group. You can create people who are very voracious consumers of the content that you produce, and they want to hear about what you're doing and they want to know what's new. But it's not good for all industries. That doesn't hold true for real estate, because not only is Facebook a community-driven social media channel, it's also a visually driven. So people want to see things and interact with them. So the photos and the videos that you produce and the other items that you share with them, they want to look and interact with those. So it's a great thing for real estate agents to participate in. A con could be considered the time investment. It takes time to get the stuff set up and to monitor and build it, but that's all that it costs, is your time to build it. You don't really have to invest any money into it if you don't really want to. And some of the money that you could invest in it, in terms of potential costs, could be you could run ads, or you could hire someone, or you could be paying an assistant to monitor and track and take care of your Facebook page for you. And then the one thing that is really important so that you can engage with people and build a reputation and build an audience that trusts you is it requires responsiveness. That could be a con, but you do this every day already. You make phone calls, you prospect, you talk to leads, and you try to work with them to solve their problems. And this is something that you're going to be doing online as well. So it's not that much of a con. So some things that you'll need before we get started, two main things, and we'll go over some of the other stuff during the class itself as we put together the page. You're going to need a profile photo. So the size needs to be 170 by 170 pixels at least. so that it's going to fit in there. It will be cropped to a circle, and we'll see how that works when we get in there. That profile photo can be a logo or a headshot, but I do recommend that it's a headshot. It's because you work in real estate, because you're a real estate agent, you want people to identify and connect with you. So a logo is not as personal. I would highly recommend that you have a really nice high resolution professional headshot that you use for your profile photo. And if you're a team, a nice team photo. And a team might be one of those instances in which you use a logo for your team, but the cover photo is your team photo because you have a large number of people. There are a few teams that we have that have a large number of folks that may not fit into that profile photo. And speaking of cover photo, that is the other thing that you're going to need before we get started. The size for that needs to be 851 by 315 pixels. If you have questions about that, you can always email me at joe.akers@agentown.com and I can talk you through it or help you with that. It can be also a graphic or a photo. If it is a graphic or a photo, you must own that. You must have paid for it or you have a license or permission to use that. You don't want a lawsuit on your hands for just grabbing something off the internet that looks nice. So I would highly recommend you either hire someone to take some photos for you, you use a photo that you have paid for that you really like, or you purchase a license, or you take the photo yourself. We don't want to get into that issue, which has happened before with some agents where they've been sued for using a photo without permission. So really that's it before we get started. So have your profile ready, your profile photo ready, have your cover photo ready, and let's go ahead and jump into the class. Okay, I mentioned that we would talk about if you had a personal page that you had put together as your business page. There is a way to actually quickly migrate that so you don't have to start from scratch. So before we get into the main part of it, I wanted to show you what this looks like. And I'm actually going to display the web address across the screen so you can write that down and use it yourself. Because what will happen is if you go to that, and you're signed in to your Facebook account, you're going to see this. It'll be your information. And then you just click get started. And then you can kind of go through the process of your personal page that you're using as a business page. It's the same thing. It's just a few extra things that are in there to get everything converted. So we'll just kind of get started with that. And you can choose up to 3 categories, but we'll just leave it at 1. And then here, if you have a personal page that you're using as a business, you can actually bring everybody over that are your friends and followers, and you already have a built-in audience to work with. Same thing here. You can choose any of the videos or something that you have, and then you can review that. And then you say create a page. The one caveat here is if you don't have a personal page, don't convert your personal page into a business page. If you have a personal page and then you started another personal page as your business, that's the one that you're going to want to choose. So if we go back really quickly to the beginning of that, there's probably going to be a couple choices if you have more than one personal page. So I would just make sure to keep an eye on that when you log in. And if you have a question, you can always email me, or you can talk with your office admin or something. But if you have more than one personal page, it's probably going to ask you to differentiate between which one you want to migrate. So with that being said, now we're going to go ahead and jump into the regular class about just starting from scratch. So now we've got all of our items together. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to go about doing that. So normally, when you open up your desktop version of Facebook, you're going to be navigated to home, not your personal page. If you go there, you're not going to see some of the things we're talking about. And if you just log into Facebook, or you click your Facebook link and it takes you to Facebook, you're going to be at the home, which is your main news feed. But when you look at this, on the left-hand side where it says Explore, you're going to want to go to Pages, okay? And when you click on that, you're going to see any pages that you may have created before. So you see the ones that I have done before. But what we want to do, and let me just scoot this over, is when you go to this page, it might be completely blank for you, but you're going to see Create Page. Go ahead and click on that. When you go to Create Page, what you're going to see is you're going to see a few choices, which is going to be Get Started for either a business or brand, or a community or public figure. What you're going to choose is you're going to use a business or brand. So go ahead and click Get Started. So here's where you're going to name your page. There's a few things to point out here, and we're going to kind of talk about a little bit about LLR rules. If you're in the process of putting this together, if you have a team or you have if you're just kind of getting started and you want to develop your brand and you haven't named your team or your brand yet, some things to keep in mind about LLR rules are that you should not name your personal brand or your personal team anything that could misconstrue or confuse the general public into thinking that you are your own company. You do work with agent-owned realty, so that is the brokerage that you represent. So if you add things such as, let's say, for example, Joe Acres Real Estate, Joe Acres Realty, even Joe Acres Properties might be pushing it just a bit. And I think that is actually in the verbiage for LLR rules. So keep that terminology out. Things like, Joe Acres Homes, Joe Acres Team, Joe Acres Real Estate Agent, things like that are fine. So we're just going to make up a name, and we're going to go ahead and put Joe Acres Homes. One other thing that you need to do is, as a real estate agent with agent-owned realty or with any brokerage, you need to designate the brokerage that you represent in your marketing materials. So if you can just put agent-owned realty, you can put with agent-owned realty, that sort of thing. But that's what you need to put there, and you kind of cover yourself. For category, go ahead and start typing in real estate, and you'll see some choices that are available to you. You do not want to put real estate company. You're not a developer. So I would say real estate or real estate agent. You could probably even do real estate service, but we're going to go ahead and put real estate agent. That kind of helps classify what your business page is, and it helps with SOI. So go ahead and choose real estate agent, but definitely choose something in the real estate, not a real estate company, because that's not what you are exactly. But choose something in the real estate category to help you with SOI, or excuse me, not SOI, SEO. Too many acronyms. Okay, so when you see the address here, this is going to be your business page. And what we've talked about before is separating your personal and business efforts in terms of what you do on social media and what you do online. So it's not even a recommendation. Either you don't put an address in there or you put your office's address in there. Don't put your personal address in there. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And so since I'm sort of based out of Mount Pleasant, we'll go ahead and put that in there. Now you can choose not to show your address, but you kind of want people to know where you're based out of. And it also helps with classification in terms of once you start doing ads or something like that, who gets shown what. It just helps Facebook understand things a little bit better. So once you've done all that, go ahead and click continue. What that's going to do is a little bit of behind the scenes magic and kind of get started on setting up your page. And so the next thing that you're going to be asked, and like we talked about before we got started, here are some of the things that you needed to get together, and hopefully you have everything in the right dimensions and all of those good things. So this is going to be your profile picture. So we're going to go ahead and upload a profile picture, and there it is. Hold on a second while it loads. Okay, there's my big head. So we're going to put that in there. You won't see anything happen yet because we're just kind of walking through the steps. So now it's asking for the cover photo, and you can see this is the cover photo that they're talking about. So I'm going to go hop in here, and we're going to go to my templates that we use, go to social media, and you can see I try to keep everything organized. Don't pay any attention to that stuff right there. And then you'll see Facebook cover images. So we're just going to use one that we have that's pretty general. And the sizing is correct, so we're going to go ahead and accept that and submit that. What you can do, and this is a more advanced thing, so we're not going to bother with this right now. What you can do is you can add online booking. It might not be what you want to do because if you're using Showtime, I think that's what it's called, you could probably incorporate that into your Facebook page, but we're not going to worry with that right now. So we're just going to say not now because this is a basic beginner's course on setting up a Facebook business page. So we're going to say not now. So what will happen, you're going to be served up with where your Facebook business page sits right now. So there you go. So you can see that we've gotten our photo prepared and ready to go. It's nice high resolution. Same thing with our cover photo. It's nice high resolution. Our name is there, agent-owned realty. So everything is pretty much ready to go. Now we can kind of delve in a little bit further in terms of what we can do to kind of personalize this and customize it a little bit more. Okay, so if you look up here at the top, like we talked about before, some of the things that you now have available to you as a business page owner is a lot more. You have Ad Center, so that's for a more advanced class later on. We'll talk about creating Facebook ads and running those. You have your inbox for any communications that you get. You get your notifications, your insights. This is your bread and butter here, because this is going to allow you to see what your audience is like, who you should be marketing to, who is responding most to the things that you're posting and the content that you are disseminating to everyone. Publishing tools. This is another big thing too, and we'll have a class on this as well. Publishing tools, that's going to allow you to go in there and create posts on a Sunday afternoon when you're all done with everything for the weekend. You got a cold beer or a glass of wine, or even a nice cool glass of milk if that's your thing, and you can start writing out your post for the week and schedule them. And that's a big deal, because then all you have to do is schedule them, let them run throughout the week, and then your only time investment that you have is responding to anyone who comments or engages with you in those posts. This is something that we do in the marketing department. All of our posts, some of them are spur of the moment. You may be doing something where you run across something that you just really have to have everybody see. And we do that sometimes as well. But a lot of what we do are scheduling, because we have to prioritize our time just like you guys do. So most of the posts that you see pop up on the main Facebook page for Agent Own have been scheduled well in advance. So that's a huge thing. But then you have some things here, edit page info and settings. So you've got these little red dots, obviously, or numbers are going to say that there's something that you need to pay attention to. So let's go ahead and click the edit page info and hop in there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a guide that's going through with us, kind of telling us what we need to do. So it's asking us to complete our About section so people can find our page more easily. So that's important for you guys to know, is the information that you add in here is actually going to help Facebook show people that might be interested in the services that you provide, serve that information up to them. So one of the things that you want to do in here is you want to write a succinct about or description section that kind of talks about your value proposition. What is it that you bring to the table that is solving a problem for a potential customer? What is it that sets you apart from other people in your field that can help someone who might want to work with you? So I'm going to be descriptive. I'm just going to say that I'm a South Carolina, and you can even be more descriptive. I'm a South Carolina real estate agent helping horse veterinarians find their forever homes. You can add a little bit more. You've got it'll tell you if you've gone over it, but you can see what am I? I'm a real estate agent. Where am I located? In South Carolina. So you could be more descriptive than that if you have a certain area that you really want to work. And so I'm a real estate agent. I'm in South Carolina, and who do I help? Horse veterinarians find forever homes. So we've got a lot of really great keywords in here that are explaining to people what it is that I do. Okay, so website. So in another class, maybe New Agent Training, you went through the website class that talked about agent portals, things of that nature. So if you have an agent portal, what you might do is you might add something in like joeshomes.com. You'll see here as I tab out, it's going to say that it's not, maybe it actually is a regular website. But if this was something that didn't actually exist, it would tell you. So this is where you would put that, because you want people to come directly to you in terms of trying to contact you. So for us, we're just going to put in the Agent Own website, just for demonstration purposes. We're going to put in my email address. Obviously, you're going to put yours in. It'd be better if you use the Agent Own email address, because you can always have any of your other email be diverted, such as this. So if you only use Gmail, you can actually set it up so that the Agent Own email is funneled to your Gmail account that you use personally or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and save the changes on each one of these things. Make sure that we kind of get to a lighter blue. That means that we've saved those changes. We've got our street address. It shows everybody where we're located. Now you can put some times in here, trying to prevent people in terms of contacting you at a certain time or something, or we could always say that always open. And basically the rest of this information here is kind of irrelevant for us at this particular time. So at this point in time, we're going to save those changes. All right, we're in pretty good shape. So let's just reload this real quick and see we're pretty good. We don't have anything sticking out to us that we need to do. So let's kind of just take a little walk through this left-hand side. Let's look at general and see the sort of things that's available to us. One thing to point out is your visitor posts. This is talking about what visitors to your business page can and cannot do. So if we click on edit, we'll see the options that we have. So right now we're set up so that visitors to the page can publish posts. They can put photo and video posts, but here's something I think that you all should do. Select review posts by other people before they are published to the page. This allows you to gauge what should or shouldn't be on your personal business or your business page, which is a very important thing and you have every right to do. You don't want people just posting things that are either inappropriate or things that could kind of damage your reputation. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and save that. That allows you to review any post that someone might want to put on your page. So there's profanity filter. It's turned off. You could choose to have anybody say whatever they want. We're going to put it on strong because we don't want anybody to burn our ears. We don't really want to restrict anything from any of this sort of area because that could lead to concerns about discrimination, which we don't do. And then we're in pretty much we're in great shape everywhere else. So let's move on. We've done page info. Let's look at messaging. This is something that you can go through a little bit later if you'd want to. But this is default set to allow people to send you messages. You can set up automatic messages and things like that in the future, and we'll probably put a class together with a little bit more advanced stuff about that, but we'll leave that be. Next up is templates and tabs. This is an important one for everybody to pay attention to. So on the templates, of templates and tabs, you have templates that you can switch your business page to. If you scroll through, you'll see various ones: services, businesses, venues, nonprofit, politicians, restaurants, shopping, video, and standard. The top two, services and businesses, probably are going to be the one that you're going to want to use. If you click view details, you can see what is significant about the pages or the templates and their differences. If you look at this one, it pretty much has most of the things that we need. If we look at businesses, there's a few things that I think set it apart and we don't necessarily need to have. Post jobs and special offers. We're not really going to do that because we're not necessarily going to post special offers on homes or anything like that. You're going to do that with your post in terms of letting people know what you're trying to say. So what we're going to do is keep it at services. That's what my recommendation would be. So on is default tabs. Now these are the default tabs and it has everything that's available in this template. We're going to go through and customize these just a little bit because there's some things you don't necessarily use or will need, so it'll help clean up your page just a little bit more. So if you look at one of these, like let's say for example, you're not quite ready to deal with reviews coming in and you want to get rid of those. You can always add them back, but if you look at on, click that to off and then save. Once you do that, you'll notice that default tabs is off because now you're customizing your tabs. If you turn it back on, it's going to put everything back in there. So let's go ahead and turn off reviews. Make sure to save. Offers, not really something that we would do, so let's go ahead and take that out. Most everything else is going to be pretty much what we want. We can have a services page where we can go into more detail about what we do. But now, if you look at the little hamburger menu on the side, this is what we call a hamburger menu because that's kind of what it looks like. Or a stack of pancakes, whatever works for you. You can grab that and drag and move the more important things up to the very top so that those have more prominence in terms of what people see first. I'm going to go ahead, here's another one real quick. Shop, we're not going to have a shop, so we're going to turn that one off. Now we have a really nice clean area for our tabs that people can access. So you order that any way you want. I kind of am thinking I want people to know more about me and know how to contact me as quickly as possible. They can learn what my services are. And then when I start posting photos of the homes and of other things like that, I want them to see that first. So I think I'm going to leave everything that way. And we'll see when we go back to the page that now things are set up so that those are the only tabs that are available. So let's go ahead and jump over to notification. All right, so in notifications, what this is doing is this is how you receive information about any activity that happens on your business page. So what it's set to at default right now is get a notification each time there is an activity on your page or an important page update. Kind of want to stay on top of that for your business page. Your personal page, you could come back to it in a week or so and then do something, but your business page, you want to be very responsive to your potential clients. That's you're setting a precedent, and you're also setting expectations right at the start. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that on. This is going to be all of the stuff that is going to be your notifications, and you can turn them off at will. Messages is on, email. We've turned it off so we don't get a ton of emails coming through, and text messages. I think I'm actually going to turn that off because I don't want to get a ding every 5 seconds while I'm in a meeting with my client. And we'll kind of skip over advanced messaging. We'll look at page roles. This is important. So let's say you have an assistant or you're putting together a team business page. You're going to want to assign roles to particular people so that you're not the only one that has to deal with the page, or if you hire an assistant or something like that. So right now, as a default, I am set as an admin. What you can do is people have to, obviously they need to be on Facebook to be able to do it pretty much. So you can type anybody. Let's see if we can find my coworker, Jenna. So there's Jenna King Lewis. I'm going to click on her and I'm going to ask her to be just an editor. And as you switch through each one of these, you'll notice that it describes everything that you're allowed to do. So you can read through there and decide what role, what responsibilities you want that person to have. An admin can do anything. They can boot you out. If you're a team, your team leader should probably be the admin and everyone else can be editors. So what you would do is just add that person. They'll get a notification that you would like them to be part of your page, and then you can move on that way. Let's see. Instagram. Here's another important one for a basic setup. If you have an Instagram page, I would highly recommend that you connect the account. You'll see pops up probably my personal Instagram, and then you can say continue, and then you would just allow access. Facebook owns Instagram, so there's a lot of integrations between the two, and it just allows you to automate some of your posts and some of the content that you create so more people see it more quickly. And I think we're pretty much done here on the left-hand side. Most of these other things are a little bit more advanced that we don't really want to fool with right now. We'll double check our edit page info. We're in great shape there. So let's just real quick go back to the page and take a look at where we are. All right. So as you'll see, there's going to be a few little tips and things that pop up to nudge you into doing certain things. So set up your page for success, invite your friends. The great thing about this is if you have a Facebook page already and you're using that account to set up your business page, it's going to go through and it's going to see all of the folks that you're friends with. And then you can go through and just click invite. And that's a great way for you to start to build a community on your Facebook business page. And I would highly recommend that you do that. Another reason for that is if we take a look really quick, we have a lot of information here. And until you get about 25 likes on the page, you can't do anything in terms of customizing it. But once you get 25, it's going to be a very clean URL that you can share with anyone. But you want to go ahead and here, once you see this page, and invite everybody. Once you get that 25, you'll have a really clean URL. Put that in an email to a bunch of other people and say, hey, come like my page. And that just gets tons of people, tons of eyes in front of the content that you're going to be sending out. So we'll go ahead and X out of that. Let's go ahead and add a button. So any of this information, the main thing that we're looking to do is a contact you. So you can say call now, send a message, sign up if you're going to do that. Learn more about your business, learn more. So we might do that. Let's see. I think we're going to do contact us. And then we can use a website link. We're going to use, let's just use Agent Own. But what you would do is you would actually use your portal if you've done that. If you don't know what a agent portal is, get in touch with your office admin or Liz S, and she will walk you through what that is. It's another great benefit to funnel leads to you. But we're going to go ahead and add that. So we'll save that, and we know that it's ready to go. We finish, and let's look up here, contact us. So get people to there's all kinds of great stuff now that you have available. If you look over here, those tabs that we cleaned up, nice and clean over here now. And so as we look through here, we've got some prompts asking us to turn on instant replies, which is something we'll look at in a more advanced class. And this is where any of your open houses that you can do, you can create an event for an open house, and that will disseminate that to your followers. All right, so let's go ahead and we're not going to mess with Ad Center. That's a little bit more advanced, but let's go ahead and take a look at our insights real quick. There's not going to be anything here because we just started the page, but this is where all this great information is going to be. You're going to see your post engagements, the number of page likes, the actions that people have done on your page, whether they've clicked, liked, viewed a video, something like that. You're going to be able to see all of this information now. And as you scroll down, you're going to see, so these are posts that I've done on this page, and you can see that, and you can see the reach that it's had, and engagement. You have some folks that you might want to keep an eye on because they're competitors of yours. You can go ahead in here and add a page and type it in there. Let's that Shadney guy. Let's go ahead and watch his page. He's a shady character, so let's keep an eye on him. You can add 4 more, so let's just add a few right now. Maybe 1 more. 2 more pages. Okay, we'll watch that one, and we'll watch this one. Okay, we're done. So what this does is now you can compare yourself, the work that you're doing, and it'll rank you in terms of how many page likes you have, how many posts you've done in the past week, and the type of results you're getting from that, the type of engagement. And so that's a great thing to do in terms of seeing what works and what doesn't work with what you're posting. You can look in detail about your followers. Again, we don't have anything to show you, so the likes. Lots of great information that you have here. Okay, and then let's look real quick at publishing tools. This is something that's going to be great, and we'll go into a little bit more detail on that in another class, but this is mostly about getting this page set up and ready to go. So you can create a post. You can go ahead and then right here under Newsfeed where it says Share Now, you can also now schedule it. So I can say that I want to post that tomorrow at 2:50 p.m., schedule, and then confirm it, schedule post. All right, that's fantastic. Let's go back and look. This is my scheduled post, and this is where all of my scheduled posts are going to be, so I can go through and go, okay, that's a great day. Maybe I go through and I want to reschedule it or something. So let's look at the actions. Okay, I want to reschedule that because maybe this isn't the best day to do that. Click reschedule and just change the information. And we'll have a class that's a little bit more detailed about scheduling posts later. But that's a fantastic thing for you to have. But let's go back to the page. Okay, so now we have our very own business page ready to go. And so what this is going to allow you to do is to disseminate information as an agent, as a team, and really start to get more content out there and connect and engage with more potential leads, more potential sellers and buyers, and achieve a bit more success than you might have had in the past. So congratulations to you. Once you've got this up and running, go ahead and go on the private Facebook page for Agent Owned and make sure that you share that so everybody can like it and congratulate you on the work that you did.